From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. 2020 was clearly the most difficult year in Nashville history, with tornadoes, the pandemic, an ongoing economic downturn. We also saw a large property tax increase, city budget difficulties, along with racial unrest and calls for social change and police change. Finally, we saw a Christmas Day bombing on 2nd Avenue downtown that shook the community to its core. We are now approaching the end of the first quarter of 2021. How is Nashville doing in recovering from its 2020 calamities? What challenges still lie ahead for us in the immediate months to come? To discuss those questions and other topics, our guest today on Inside Politics is Nashville Mayor John Cooper. Mayor Cooper, thank you so much. I always appreciate you coming on the program.
Well, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be back, socially distanced, but in person, and I think it's says Nashville's back. We're getting on the downside of this COVID business, and we have a great future ahead. Well,
people are not, their eyes are not deceiving them. You are in the studio. You're the first guest I've had in the studio in over a year. We are socially distanced. You were here once before with Vicki Yates when I was under the weather that day. She was very gracious to fill in, and thank you again for coming back. Another rough round of weather this week. It may be more on the way. It doesn't seem like we can catch a break from Mother Nature, although fortunately there doesn't appear to be anybody seriously injured or killed.
Well, I'm grateful this morning. We still have 2,800 people without power. We had 11,000 last night. I was at the Ross Early Learning Center to see the trees that had fallen and smashed a few cars and some roofs blown off. It just makes me grateful that it's so spooky, so close to where the tornado touched down. You would have another clearly significant storm event, but that it was not worse and that we're not reliving last year. So we're grateful. But again, to those 2,800 people without power, I know NES is really focused on getting you hooked back up. Spring is always the season for new life, new beginnings. You think perhaps we're beginning to turn the corner here in Nashville on the COVID-19? We are. Not only are we turning the corner today, I want to say it's a great day. We're at 25% vaccination. We lead the southeast cities in the amount of vaccination. We're going to have a goal to get to 30% by April the 4th and then to 50% by May the 1st. We're going to be the best in the country in vaccination. I'm grateful to our state sourcing us more vaccine so that we can do outstanding numbers here in Nashville.
And as that happens, we're going to continue to see more relaxation of some of the restrictions that are on there.
You are, based
30 and 40%?
On the percent of the population that is vaccinated. That's why I think getting to 50% by May 1 is a signal to businesses about a restart and a rebound. About 7 days after getting to 30%, we're going to see another relaxation in rules. Now, we're going to ask people to keep wearing masks for a while, but you're not going to have any material economic restrictions on the economy.
You're not broadening it out until, I think, early April to let any adult above age 16 to be able to get a shot. And some counties are starting earlier than that. Do they have more vaccine than do? What's the difference?
Well, I think it's a practical matter. Go to our website, book your appointment. I think the practical matter is everybody can get a shot at this point. Just go ahead and book it, particularly during the month of April, where you will have an open door. We have 28 sites giving vaccinations today. We've had 95 on-site events to cover vulnerable communities. You've got another 60 events being scheduled in April. The drive to get to 50% is going to really put Nashville in a different category, and I think we're going to be #1 in the whole country.
People were so excited, and I think it went so well to do that mass drive-through vaccination in Nissan Stadium. Do you not have enough Johnson & Johnson vaccine to do that again, or is that something you might do in the future if you get more vaccine?
I think we will be doing it. It's uniquely helpful to have a one-shot and you're done vaccine for that event. I think we're going to be having, again, 60 more events coming up in April to get us to 50%.
The state continues to seem to have problems getting people to come back. I think as many as 10,000 people have not gotten their second shots. Is Nashville having that problem? And if you're not having it, why not?
Well, our health department is doing a great job. The shot experience for those, I mean, I have had one shot and I'm going to come to another shot, is so positive. The people doing it, it's so great. It is a great patriotic event. Many people burst into tears when they get their shot because of all the anxiety over the last year. We are not having problems in Nashville, and we are getting it done and getting to 50%. I think for all of our businesses that have been so traumatized by the last year, it's a significant statement of getting onto the rebound.
We continue to, there always seems to be a cloud on the horizon during this entire situation, and we've heard that the transmission rate in Nashville has gone back up above 1 again. That's got to be concerning.
Our numbers are not super great. I have to say, we're still at over 20 per 100,000. The transmission rate is over 1. So as people have relaxed, you've had a resurgence of the disease, but that's being matched by awesome vaccination rates. We're going to vaccinate our way out of this.
We hear a lot about spring break. A lot of the airport had its busiest days in over a year. That's great for the airport, but it might be concerning about the spread of the virus.
Get your vaccination. Get your vaccination. I mean, we at one point we had no tools on the disease, right? All you had was masks and social distancing. Now we have a vaccination as a tool. The sooner we get to 50%, the better, more confident we can be in terms of the disease not being a problem.
The mask mandate has been in place in Davidson County consistently for several months. You mentioned that it's going to be around for a while. In what part of this vaccination numbers? Do we have to get up to 60 or 70% before the mask mandate goes away?
We're going to be driven by science, and public health is, I think, going to be somewhat cautious in using a very simple tool to diminish the rate of the disease. But let me just spend a moment. What did Davidson County accomplish by its rules? Vanderbilt turned out, predicted it, and I think will confirm that we ended up right now saving about 800 to 900 lives statistically, because we had precautions and we followed the statistics. You had fewer people get the disease, they got it less badly, you saved lives by a simple formula of having a mask.
Every week we see some of the surrounding counties that adopted mask mandates getting rid of them. Does that put us back in some peril? Because the vaccine does not, or the virus doesn't pay any attention to where the county lines are.
Where the county line is. Well, I think the national scientific advice is be cautious about going to no restrictions whatsoever. That you still have carriers, and as you say, the T rate, the transmission rate, is still above 1, and that's not a good finding. It had been down to 0.75 for a while, but as people have relaxed, the disease will be with us for a surprisingly long period of time. It may continue to be out in more rural counties than it is in Nashville, but the city is not going to go to 0 anytime soon.
Nashville Mayor John Cooper is our guest on Inside Politics. About to continue our conversation with the mayor after this break.